Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband,
Wife!
do you know where we are and how the hell we got here?
Well, yesterday we read Daniel chapter 4, and in that chapter, Nebuchadnezzar was writing a letter.
He was writing a letter.
Yeah, and it was about a dream, and I would have assumed that it was about the last dream that we heard about, but it didn't quite sound the same.
Yeah.
So that made me question a lot of things about, like, what the fuck is happening? What's going on? What is this shit?
Very confusing.
It was. But ultimately, he was going to be a tree and an eagle, and he's going to get lost in the wilderness for 7 years, and there's like all kinds of stuff going on in the dream.
Gonna eat grass.
Right, yeah,
like
he's gonna eat grass, yeah, something like that. Anyway, he's gonna find his way back and then, bow before God and all's gonna be good, and then he gets to be king again or something.
And then that happened and he was like, yo, you guys! And
right.
he had to share the good news.
But I'm a little skeptical about the validity of this account.
Oh,
so
for sure.
Just a bit.
Not only that it didn't happen, because obviously,
right,
but the fact that he even a little bit felt this way and wrote this kind of stuff down.
No, this whole book so far has been all about making Nebuchadnezzar bow before their God Yahweh, right? And I'm like, why? This doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
But okay, I feel like this is just like people in the future after the Babylonian exile going, yeah, he totally fucking loved God. You see how much he loved God? He loved him a lot.
And he came around at the end.
Yeah.
You should too, guys.
So anyway, that was the gist of Daniel chapter 4.
It was.
Which means that today we're getting into
Daniel chapter 5. But something that's really funny that I have to say before you stop the recording here.
Yeah.
Is my notes all say Ezekiel. And so I've been trying so fucking hard to say Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the one.
So when you said Daniel chapter 4, I saw it says Ezekiel in my notes and I was like, oh shit. Okay, yes. Daniel chapter 5. Let's do it.
All right.
All right, we are getting into Daniel, Big D, chapter 5.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And before we start that, I need to say, as I do, that this book is divided into 2 parts. We are in the first part, which is chapters 1 through 6, and they are a set of 6 court tales.
Okay.
They talk about what it's like to be at court.
Right,
okay?
right. Well, it's kind of like the introduction to the Daniel and crew,
right?
The Scooby Gang.
Daniel and his homies.
Yeah.
And then the second part is chapters 7 through 12, which are for apocalyptic visions.
Okay. Good times.
So we are still in the court tales before we get into the apocalyptic visions.
All right.
And also,
thus far, the continuity of these stories has been piss poor.
I'm so actually glad that you said that, because I was about to say one more note before I move on. Chapter 5 is out of place.
Of course it is. I don't think there's been a single one in place.
No. Actually, though, this one is noted as being out of place. So
wow.
it's not
So
just...
specifically, this one's worse than the others?
Yes. Yes. It should come in after the 7th and 8th chapters. So,
okay.
This makes some of the chronology of the story hard to follow, and like who's father and who's son and stuff like that. So, just wanted to kind of put that out there before we get into this.
But if we waited until 7 and 8, then we're into the
apocalyptic vision
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
I just wanted to put that kind of in there just to say it. So, all right.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Daniel chapter 5.
Got it.
King Belshazzar, who the fuck they,
right,
gave a great banquet for 1,000 of his nobles and drank wine with them.
Okay.
While Belshazzar was drinking his wine, he gave orders to bring in the gold and silver goblets that Nebuchadnezzar, his father, had taken from the temple in Jerusalem, so that the king and his nobles, his wives, and his concubines might drink from them.
Okay.
Now,
so we're a generation on here.
Might be a couple generations, because from what I was reading, Nebuchadnezzar is not his actual father. It's one of his forefathers, like his grandfather or even great grandfather.
Got it. Okay.
So,
but wait, we're still supposed to still assume though that Daniel's alive here, or what's?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
But let us keep in mind that these kings did not like stay on the throne for like decades and decades and decades before they died.
Right.
So it is possible that Daniel did outlive many kings.
And also, we don't know yet, but this is also supposed to be in with the apocalyptic visions.
Right.
So this might be set in a time that, is ahead. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that. It's not his daddy. Okay?
Got it. Yeah.
It's just like, remember that time when one of the grandfathers, Nebuchadnezzar, like he took those gold and silver goblets? I'm going to drink out of that. You want to drink with me, all you 1,000 people?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So he's about to, do some shit.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's going to have his wives and his concubines drink from them as well.
Got it.
So they brought in the gold goblets that had been taken from the temple of God in Jerusalem, and the king and his nobles, his wives, and his concubines drank from them. As they drank the wine, they praised the gods of gold and silver, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone.
So apparently Nebuchadnezzar taking, saying that Yahweh is the God of all gods and the most, high and all that.
The feeling didn't get passed down.
It didn't get passed down, apparently, yeah.
But I mean, it didn't even get passed down among the Jews.
Right.
So.
No, I know.
Like, do you really expect that the Babylonians gave a fuck?
But this is, I think that aspect of the accounts in the Bible, right? Of Yahweh, of God, whatever. That's partly what makes it so not believable.
Right.
Right? Like, if there was a God that truly felt like it was God, these people would recognize that fact. Right. Right? And they try to write these things to where it feels like people are recognizing it, but it never actually happens.
Right.
So that's what bothers me about the whole, the whole recounting of these stories where they're talking about Yahweh and God and how people react to him.
Right.
So.
All right. So they're all drinking out of those goblets and they're praising the gods of gold and silver and all that whatnot.
Right.
Okay. Suddenly, the fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote on the plaster of the wall near the lampstand in the royal palace. The king watched the hand as it wrote. This is actually,
as you would have, a fucking hand appeared and started writing on plaster. Yeah.
This is actually a very famous chapter for some of the things that we're going to learn in this.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. His face, Belshazzar.
Yeah.
His face turned pale, and he was so frightened that his legs became weak and his knees were knocking. The king summoned the enchanters, astrologers, and diviners. Then he said to these wise men of Babylon, Whoever reads this writing and tells me what it means will be clothed in purple and have a gold chain placed around his neck, and he will be made the third highest ruler in the kingdom.
Just to state it out loud, purple was a very sought-after, coveted color in those times because it was very hard to make.
It was hard to get a hold of, which meant that if you had it, that you were a rich motherfucker.
Right.
So,
yeah, I just wanted to make sure I said that out loud.
No, that is good to point out.
Right.
Yes. Then all the king's wise men came in, and all the king's horses, but they could not read the writing or tell the king what it meant. So King Belshazzar became even more terrified, and his face grew more pale. His nobles were baffled. The queen, hearing the voices of the king and his nobles, came into the banquet hall. "May the king live forever," she said. "Don't be alarmed. Don't look so pale. There is a man in your kingdom who has the spirit of the holy gods in him."
Who? I'm assuming we're talking about Daniel again, which, okay, I'm just going to throw this out there, but he's already done some pretty apparently amazing things with regard to one of his ancestors, be it his father or grandfather or whatever.
Right.
You would think that this guy would be pretty well, Daniel would be pretty well known in the kingdom as far as the ability to divine things about weird circumstances.
This is at least a generation later.
Yeah.
And Nebuchadnezzar didn't necessarily pass these stories down to his children. There's that. The queen, who's like, hang on. Like, let's call this one dude. She was very likely one of the either brides or concubines of the previous kings before Belshazzar.
Okay.
So she would maybe even remember Daniel herself from the time of Nebuchadnezzar.
Got it.
And then one more note is that it's suspected maybe that the time of this story, Daniel is supposed to be like 80 years old.
Oh, okay.
So he's no longer a kid. So this is like like a lifetime later.
Many years later.
Yeah. And that's why the chronology of this story is very difficult, because we just got through with Nebuchadnezzar, like in his prime doing his thing. And now all of a sudden, like, oh, we're like several generations down.
Right.
"There is a man in your kingdom who has the spirit of the holy gods in him. In the time of your father or grandfather or forefather or whatever the fuck we're calling him today, he was found to have insight and intelligence and wisdom like that of the gods. Your father or forefather or grandfather, whatever, King Nebuchadnezzar, appointed him chief of the magicians, enchanters, astrologers, and diviners. He did this because Daniel, whom the king called Belshazzar," just to make sure that we all remember that, you know, he was a Hebrew renamed with a Babylonian name, was found to have a keen mind and knowledge and understanding, and also the ability to interpret dreams, explain riddles, and solve difficult problems. Call for Daniel, and he will tell you what the writing means.
Okay.
The writing on the wall, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is where that phrase originated.
Comes from. Okay.
Yeah. So Daniel was brought before the king, and the king said to him, "Hey, are you Daniel, one of the like exiles my father the king brought from Judah?"
Yeah, I am.
"I have heard that the spirit of the gods is in you, and like that you have insight or whatever, intelligence, outstanding wisdom, that kind of thing."
Right.
True?
Yeah.
False? Fiction?
True.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
No cap?
According to this, yeah.
Bet. "The wise men and enchanters were brought before me to read this writing and tell me what it means, but they were idiots. They could not explain it. They're womp womp, you know?"
I do have a question, though. Like, we were talking about maybe, like, he's in his 80s or 70s or 80s, right? The exile only lasted, like, 70 or 80 years. So we're, like, right at the end of... Like, according to this, we're right near the end of the exile,
he was
probably
15 when he came on board.
Right. So, I mean, at the very least, we only got, like, maybe another 15 or 20 years or something. So,
Exactly. Well... I'm
just trying to place this in
Let me finish this chapter, and then your answers will be your questions will be answered.
Okay.
Your answers will be questioned.
Got it.
Okay. Now, I have heard that you, Daniel, are able to give interpretations and to like solve difficult problems or whatever. If you can read this writing and tell me what it means, you'll be clothed in purple and have a gold chain placed around your neck.
Wow.
And you'll be made the third highest ruler in the kingdom. I love as a king to repeat my fucking self.
Right.
Word for word. You know, it's the coolest.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing.
Sure.
Then Daniel answered the king, you may keep your gifts for yourself and give your rewards to someone else who gives a shit. It doesn't say who gives a shit.
Right,
It just says someone else.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I will read the writing for the king and tell him what it means. So
he's going to read the writing on the wall.
He's going to read the writing on the wall.
Okay.
Your Majesty, the Most High God, gave your father Nebuchadnezzar sovereignty and greatness and glory and splendor. Because of the high position he gave him, all the nations and peoples of every language dreaded and feared him. Those the king wanted to put to death, he put to death. Those he wanted to spare, he spared. Those he wanted to promote, he promoted. And those he wanted to humble,
he humbled.
That is right. It's almost like you're magic and you're a prophet. You could tell what was written without seeing it.
Yeah.
But when his heart became arrogant and hardened with pride, he was deposed from his royal throne and stripped of his glory. He was made to eat, grass.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
He was driven away from people and given the mind of an animal. He lived with the wild donkeys and ate grass like an ox.
I mean, that's what the Bible says. I don't believe this, but okay.
And his body was drenched with the dew of heaven. The doo-doo of heaven. Until he acknowledged that the Most High God is sovereign over all kingdoms on earth and sets over them anyone he wishes. But you, Belshazzar, his son, grandson, whatever, have not humbled yourself, though you knew all of this, you dumb shit.
Okay.
Are you ready to hear what I'm about to lay down, sir?
I suppose he probably
You're
is.
a king, but I'm going to tell you some shit.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Instead, you have set yourself up against the Lord of heaven. You had the goblets from his temple brought to you. Like, you did this on purpose. You knew what you were doing, fuckface.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you and your nobles, your wives, and your concubines drink wine from them. Ugh, can you even? You praised the gods of silver and gold, of bronze, iron, wood, and stone, which cannot see or hear or understand. But you did not honor the God who holds in his hand your life and all your ways. Therefore, he sent the hand that wrote the inscription. This is the inscription that was written.
Okay.
Meeny, meeny, tekel parson.
I'm sorry, what?
Meeny, meeny, tekel parson.
This is what it actually says in the...
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. It's similar to eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Only eeny, meeny, tekel parson. He's going to translate
Explain
it.
it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Here is what these words mean. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
And apologies if I mispronounced them. Let's go ahead and assume I did.
Yeah, right.
Meaning, God has numbered the days of your reign and brought it to an end. Tekel, you have been weighed on the scales and been found wanting. Ooh. Peres, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Then, at Belshazzar's command, the king guy.
Right.
Daniel was clothed in purple. A gold chain was placed around his neck, and he was proclaimed
okay.
the third highest ruler in the kingdom.
No.
Let me finish. Let me just finish.
All right.
I got one sentence left.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That very night, guess what happened?
I have no idea.
Belshazzar, king of the Babylonians, was motherfucking slain. And Darius the Mede took over the kingdom at the age of 62.
Oh, for
the end.
fuck's sake.
Yeah. The Medes and the Persians, they got it.
They're having a dinner and then he gets murdered and then the Medes take over?
Yeah.
What?
That was the downfall of the Babylonian kingdom. That's was
not
the
how
end.
Kingdoms end. You don't just get murdered.
That was the end of the kingdom.
Oh my God.
The Medes and the Persians. I'm sure they didn't just walk in.
Right.
There was a whole war there.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But they're saying that night is it was foretold before dude went to bed.
Moreover, I'm not the fact, okay, if Daniel walked in and told him your kingdom sucks and is ending soon,
right?
He's not going to make him the third highest in the land.
He's not going to reward that.
In fact, he'd probably end up in prison
or beheaded.
Yeah, or chopped into pieces,
or get the fuck back in that furnace. I don't know why my forefather let you out.
Right? Yeah. Although he wasn't one of the ones in the furnace. So
true.
But yeah, that just seems very unrealistic.
Yeah.
Not just like a little bit, but like a lot unrealistic.
There are so many times, though, and we've said this before throughout Daniel especially, when people just walk right up to the king and they're like, yo, king, let me tell you to your face some shit. You ready for this? And I'm like, A, no, you did not get in the king's face.
Right.
Okay? You didn't. You just didn't.
Right.
And B, that is not what the fuck you said.
Yeah.
And C, if you did not live to tell this motherfucking story.
Right.
So 3 ways that I, a dumbass, call shit on you.
Well, and this is why, the fact that it's written hundreds of years after the Babylonian exile, it's just people like wishfully thinking this is what happened with regard to their God in this moment, right? And I get it. It's a great feel-good story for your people, right? Like you had these heroes doing these things to these kings that they abhorred, right? Right. But it's not real. It's not even remotely realistic. It's just a story that you would tell as a fun, our God is awesome and this is what, this is how it went down totally, know? But it's not true. And it doesn't ring true. There's no believability about it.
There are some, quote unquote scholars who have questions about what language the words were written in. I guess, I don't know if those words are Hebrew or Latin. I suspect Latin would be more likely, but who the fuck knows? Sure. I mean, somebody knows, but it's not me.
Right.
And I can't remember what all I read about it. But anyway, there was a question about why he had all his fucking wise men and whatever in the room with him and not one of them could read the words. Yeah. And the answer to that actually does kind of make sense. If it was something that only Daniel could read, it was something that it was likely that only Jewish could read. Okay. And it was not favorable to be familiar or to claim familiarity with that language. Got it. So even if any of them did know how to read those words, they would not have wanted to come forward and said, hey, I can read that. That says your days are fucking numbered.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit.
Right. I mean, sure.
In a very convoluted, stupid story.
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to pull interesting factoids. Like, that's where we get the writing is on the wall. Okay. And you can read the writing on the wall. Like, okay, when we say the writing's on the wall, what we mean is, it's very clear what's going to happen. And when you say you can read the writing on the wall, you're saying we all know exactly what's going to happen. Right. So. Okay. Yep. Well, it's interesting to know some of the origins behind that saying at the very least. So, we've learned scapegoat. Cool, right? That was my favorite too. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a sucker for words.
All right. Well, that was Daniel chapter 5.
Sure as fuck was.
I have a inkling. I have an idea that the next one is kind of a famous chapter. But we're going to have to wait till next week to find out what that is. Yeah. So
that'll be on Monday.
But in between now and then, so we got tomorrow we're going to be doing our
Q&A Saturday.
Right. And then on Sunday we're going to be doing our
Patreon.
And then I will get the weekly wrap up together. And then on Monday we'll be back with
Daniel chapter 6.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.